Assalamualaikum, very good evening. Welcome to our special guest, panel of speakers and our viewers for our first Johor English Digital Learning Resources live webinar. My name is Cikgu Fadzleen and I will be moderating our webinar for today, which is entitled Managing Challenges, Hybrid and Blended Learning in Language Learning. Before we start our webinar for today, I would like to give you some gentle reminders. Please use a stable internet connection for optimum viewing. Secondly, viewers can post questions in the YouTube chat section and we will choose question randomly. And last but not least, the Q&A session will be open 5 minutes before the session ends. Now, without further ado, I would like to talk about the webinar objective. First of all, it is to provide understanding on home-based learning, PDPR and dilemma. Secondly, is to optimize digital resources via Johor English Digital Learning Resources. And last but not least, is to share ideas and application for hybrid and blended learning for language learning. Now, without further ado, let us welcome our special guest for today, which is Haji Shahilon, Halim, the Deputy Director of the Education Department. Welcome, sir. And next is Cikgu Hanif bin Nur Azahar. He is a English teacher at SK Tengku Mariam, Batu, Pahat, Johor. Cikgu Hanif is the recipient of multiple awards, where he received Gold and Silver Award for the Malta Excellence in Research Award in 2017 and 2019. Cikgu Hanif is also the Johor English Language Panelist and the manager for the Johor English Digital Learning Resource. So we are so honored to have Cikgu Hanif here. Last but not least, we have with us Cikgu Emira Nabila Binti Ramli. Now, I'm sure that some of you know Cikgu Emira as she is the second runner-up for the Adiwira PAK 2021 Awards, as well as the Johor English Language Panelist. Cikgu Emira is also the Guru Adiwira PAK 21 for Johor in 2019. Welcome special guests as well as our panel of speakers for our webinar for today. We are so delighted to welcome all of you here. Right, without further ado, we would like to pose the first question to our special guest, Tuan Haji Shahilon, regarding home-based learning or PDPR. Can you explain more and share with us what are the initiatives done by the ministry, particularly in the home-based learning, PDPR, as well as dilemma? Welcome, sir. Over to you.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you, Dr. Nur Fadzleen Haji Sadun, our moderator. Thank you, Cikgu Hanif bin Nur Azahar, one of our panelists. Cikgu Emira Nabila Binti Ramli, English teacher of SMK Pasir Gudang, another one of our panelists for today's program. Thank you, everyone. And first and foremost, I would like to express my joy in being among wonderful teachers who are going to share their experience and expertise as we talk about home-based learning. I would also like to congratulate the English Language Unit, a learning sector, Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Johor, and their committee for putting such an effort in launching and in conducting a webinar this evening. I believe that all teachers, especially the English teachers, will gain better ideas and skill in conducting home-based learning, as it is now the new norm and it is becoming more important during the current situation. Firstly, I would like to remind that everybody to play our part in trying to curb the spread of COVID-19. We have to obey all the SOPs so that none of us will be infected by COVID-19, and COVID-19 will not be spread. Hopefully, we will get through this together. Today is the 250th day of MCO, since the first day of the 18 March this year. Schools were closed and then reopened and then closed again. Our students out there are kind of starving from knowledge. They are deprived from being able to learn in schools, and we as educators, it is our responsibility to make sure that our student will have the opportunity, will get the opportunity to study, to learn in whatever means possible. Students need to learn, they need to acquire knowledge and skill for their future. And we as teachers need to help them. Why is HBL so important? What is HBL actually? HBL is home-based learning or pengajaran dan pembelajaran di rumah. It is a teaching process, an approach that being conducted from home by our teachers using suitable means or modes that can also be accessed by our students. School managers, our pengetua and guru besar, they should have scheduled the timetable for HBL to be conducted by our teachers. Therefore, it is to avoid the same group of students are supposed to be online at the same time. Hopefully, this timetable has been set up properly in every school, and every teachers are doing the HBL. When we talk about HBL, there are actually two types of HBL. One is online, and the other one is offline. When we talk about online HBL, we talk about any teaching and learning that is being conducted real time. The interaction of students and teachers are done in real time. They can talk to each other, they can communicate, and usually we do this using a dilemma, one word that is being pronounced differently by different people. When you talk dilemma, it can be fruit. When you talk dilemma, that is something can be confusing to everybody. But we are talking about digital learning initiative, digital education learning initiative, Malaysia. So hopefully our teachers are using this, and when teachers are using dilemma, they have to use the dilemma ID to get access into the platform, and they can use several programs through Google Meet, Microsoft Teams live streaming, or they can use games application. They can post video, they can share audio clip, and so on. The other one is offline. Not every student can get access to a device or can get access to internet line, or even if they have the device, internet access can be obtained, but maybe they don't have the money to buy the data plan to get online. Therefore, to cater this group of students, we can do the HBL through offline. Maybe we can distribute worksheet, distribute workbook by different means. So, or our student can use the device without internet access. So these are the two types of home-based learning that can be conducted by our teachers. And hopefully, teachers will plan with their student to use the best approach to get in touch with their student. We believe that a lot of our teachers are using WhatsApp group or Telegram group. And this is also, this can also be considered as online if the communication between teachers and students are being conducted within a certain period of designated time. For example, if we were to conduct the lesson from 8 to 10, and then the student will be communicating with the teachers during that period of time, then it can be considered as online activities. The teachers, through WhatsApp group, teachers can use a voice note, teachers can post video or even question, and student will respond to that. Okay, about, can I have the next slide, please? Okay, when we talk about HBL, there are certain things that we have to remember. Not every student, our students are developing very fast. They cannot be exposed to the use of devices for a long period of time. So we have a guide that has been circulated to be referred to by our teachers. For example, preschool can only be exposed to internet device roughly about 1 hour. Primary school 1 to 2 hours, lower secondary school 2 to 3 hours, upper secondary school 3 to 4 hours. So hopefully by taking certain measures, the period of time students are being exposed to internet, the use of device, we can also look into the safety and health of our students. Okay, teachers and audience, we are living in a new norm and we have to change. We don't know how long this pandemic COVID-19 will last, but we have to equip ourselves. We have to equip with skill and knowledge to cope with the changes. The director for the Directorate of Education and Skill OECD Program for International Student Assessment once said, when fast get really fast, being slow to adapt makes education really slow. So here we need to adapt very fast. We need to change very fast so that our students will be able to learn and equip themselves with the skill needed for their future. Okay, when we talk about HBL, one of the platform being provided by our government is Delima, Digital Educational Learning Initiative Malaysia. And every teacher has been provided with Delima ID, and hopefully, we really hope that every teacher will use this ID. Recent figure shows that report on last Sunday, it was reported that 1,708 teachers in the state of Johor has not been, let me repeat that. 1,708 ID has not been used for the state of Johor. But with current situation, the numbers, hopefully the numbers will be reduced. Okay, there are three main platforms in Delima. That is, one is Microsoft, the second one is Google, and the third one is Apple. So teachers can use any of this platform by using the Delima ID, get into the Delima platform and use whichever platform, whichever program that is suitable for teachers and students. hopefully our teachers will learn and improve their skill in using the technologies. Basically, we understand that our teachers are facing problems, we are facing difficulties in conducting HBL. Maybe our students are missing, they are missing in action, they didn't turn up for the lesson. Maybe they don't have the equipment necessary for HBL. Or maybe they don't have the money to buy the data plan to get online. But we need to see what are the situation faced by our teachers and our students so that HBL can be conducted. We will try to provide technical support wherever possible. We will try to provide help by conducting webinars. Right now, we are planning to have 13 series of webinars from November until December. And we really encourage our teachers to share their experience, their teaching and learning, what has been conducted, what are their plans, and hopefully by sharing the experience, we can help other teachers in conducting HBL. I think I'll stop to that right now, and I give a chance to other panelists to voice out their opinion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tuan Haji Shahilon, for sharing such an insightful discussion on how home-based learning as well as dilemma can be optimized by the teachers for home-based learning. Now, one of the initiatives by the Johor Education Department is the Johor English Digital Learning Resources, or GEDLR. And we would like to ask the manager of the JEDLR, Cikgu Hanif bin Nur Azahar, more on how this website can help teachers in facilitating home-based learning. Over to you, Cikgu Hanif.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fadzleen. It's such a good question. Well, first of all, I would like to thank Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Johor, especially the learning sector, for inviting me here today. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about digital learning resources, the most important part is actually to find the best learning resources for your students. That is why I would like to introduce to you, I am proud to introduce to you our Johor English Digital Learning Resources. This is a teacher-made website dedicated to all teachers out there who are very committed in finding the best reliable learning resources for your students. Well, you can go to this website by following the following address, or you can just scan the QR code on the slide. Well, you can also find this website from Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Johor official website. You can go to Muat Turun, click Koleksi Penerbitan, and under Koleksi Penerbitan, you can see Johor English Digital Learning Resources, JEDLR. Isn't it easy to just click there and you can have the website? Well, here are 5 top reasons why you English teachers out there should use Johor English Digital Learning Resources to step up your game as a teacher and become a key player in conducting the best home learning process, or PDPR, for your students. Well, first of all, you can get access to hundreds of learning resources for free. Yes, you heard it right, teachers. It's free for you. In this website, it covers for both, for primary and secondary materials. And you can just simply click on any of these pictures and it will direct you to the learning resource. Well, let's try click on the primary. That's it. You can find all the learning materials from year 1 to year 6 for primary section, and for secondary section from 1 to form 6. And to all the English teachers out there who are teaching year 1, you may click on year 1, and this is it. This is the treasure of this website. In this section, you can find all the learning materials listed for year 1. And the best part is actually the learning materials are downloadable and editable for you teachers. You can just edit the learning materials tailoring to the needs of your students. Isn't it easy to just click, download, edit, and it's ready for your students? Apart from that, the learning resources in this website are grouped according to English language skills. Well, I believe some of you out there, you are worried about the learning resources that you use for your students, whether the learning materials are matched for which focus skill, whether it's reading, grammar, listening, or any skills. But don't worry. In this website, we have grouped all the learning resources based on the focus skill. You can just click on the reading and you can find all the learning materials for reading. And to help you to use this website, we introduce Magic Filter. Yes, it's a magic filter for you. Why is it magic? Let's see. Well, if you click on the first filter, it's focus skill filter. Well, in this filter, you can just click on which reading or which language skill that you want to have. So let's say if you click on reading skill, they will list out all the materials for reading skill as well as for the other skills. Click it and they will list out for you. And if you want to find materials based on topic, let's say if you want to get materials for module 1, year 4, you can just click on module 1 and you will have all the materials for module 1. The third filter is you can find the learning resources based on online or printable materials. You can find online-based materials by just clicking on it, or printable materials. Not just that, for our last filter, this is the most interesting part, because you get to filter. If you want to access materials using Google Form only, you can just click on Google Form. YouTube, Kahoot, Quizzes, Live Worksheet, and so many other resources and platforms. It's all here. Isn't it interesting? Everything is just in one website. Now, each resource in this website is also being professionally reviewed by our expert English teachers. Well, these are our primary coordinators, and these are our secondary coordinators. Our coordinators are CFR Master Trainers, National and State Level Module Builders, Guru-Guru Cemerlang Bahasa Inggris, and expert English teachers who are actively involved in doing research and innovation for the development of English language. Our coordinators will review and check each learning resource based on the Learning Resources Evaluation Guideline. They will check whether the materials are aligned with the CFR syllabus, the designs, the format, the quality of the content, the language used. Everything will be reviewed before they upload it on the materials. So you don't have to worry about the quality of the content. Everything is guaranteed excellent. Now, you can also become a contributor to this website. Yes, you English teachers out there, you can become a contributor to our website. How? Well, if you have any learning resources that maybe you created yourself, or you find across any learning materials that are suitable for English teachers to use out there, you can just go to the material contribution section, and you can choose whether the materials are for primary or secondary. So let's say if you click on the primary materials, there you go. You can find from year 1 to year 6. And then you may classify your materials, whether it's suitable for year 1, year 2, or year 3, or any standard. It goes the same for Form 1 to Form 5. And if you go to year 2, you will find a Google form for you to submit your learning resources. It's very easy. And then our team will check your learning resources. Once it's qualified, then you can find it on our website. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Johor is looking forward to support you teachers out there in developing your professional development. That is why our website offers 3 great resources to improve your proficiency as well as your teacher competence. We have webinars, online courses, and resources for you. Well, let's just click on the webinars. Yes, in this webinar section, you can find all different videos from recognized YouTube channel. Well, you can find such as EduWeb TV channel, Cikgu Johor, and other YouTube channels offering different webinars to help you improve your teaching strategies, especially for the home-based learning. And if you go to our online courses section, you will find 3 online courses offered here, which are improved by ELTC, British Council Malaysia, and US Embassy Malaysia. These 3 online courses would definitely help you in improving your proficiency as well as your teacher competence. And if you want to find any materials from Bahagian Pembangunan Curriculum or from English Language Teaching Center, you can find it here on our website. And again, it's downloadable for you. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you English teachers out there would use this website, and it will be very beneficial for you. That's all from me. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you, Hanif. Wow, can you see what a wonderful help for all the English learning resources for all the teachers. And I would like to say hi to all the teachers from all over Malaysia. I could see those from Sarawak, from Pahang, Selangor, welcome. And we hope that you will use this for your classes. Now, we would like to welcome our second speaker, which is Emira Nabila Binti Ramli. And apart from the Johor English Digital Learning Resources, the teachers can also myriad apps and also social media platform in their home-based learning. So to bring us more information and knowledge about this, I would like to welcome Emira Nabila to talk more on how we can use various apps for home-based learning. Over to you, Emira.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good evening. I bid to all our viewers for our webinar session for today. Thank you to our moderator for the question posed. First and foremost, I would like to express my utmost gratitude in being given this golden opportunity in speaking with the presence of our Deputy Director of the Learning Sector, from the Johor State Education Department, Tuan Haji Shahilon bin Abdul Halim. I'm greatly honoured to be with you today, although virtually, as a representative of teachers in Johor. I'm also very proud to be alongside my co-panel for today, Cikgu Hanif bin Nur Azahar, as the ambassador for the JEDLR platform. So my role for today is to address the issue of, or the topic of home-based learning, whereby I am fully aware that currently we as teachers, we have to teach in the new norm. Somehow we do face different challenges, but despite the notion that home-based learning can sometimes be a very daunting process, I'm pretty sure that there are ways in which we can enable ourselves and we can make ourselves better equipped, especially with the use of technology. So hopefully by the end of this session, we can realize that home-based learning is something that is doable, and we can indeed set achievable goals. So going back to the question that was given to me by Dr. Nur Fadzleen, in order for us to address this issue of the effectiveness of home-based learning, I would like our teachers to embrace the concept of hybrid learning as well as blended learning, whereby a combination of offline task-based lessons as well as online interactions, or probably the interchangeable use of these two methods, can definitely provide our students with a more meaningful and more effective experience. So as you can see on the screen right now, topping my list for offline task-based lessons would be tasks that we can attach on Delima, or our Digital Education Learning Initiative Malaysia platform, or the ones that we can send on WhatsApp or Telegram for our students to do offline. However, if I were to pick like a distinguishing feature of Delima, it would definitely be that Delima provides us with a more streamlined nature of the task that we send, so we can have it done in a more organized manner. Compared to having WhatsApp or Telegram, because these two social media were not created for the purpose of education. So sometimes the tasks that we send can be buried in conversations or GIFs or images. So do consider that factor when we want to choose the lesson that we want to conduct. So for online interactions, maybe, of course, throughout my presentation, I will definitely dive further into the use of online applications. If I could also mention, teachers do consider downloading the materials that we have got from our JEDLR website, because these materials were carefully selected by our panel of experts. So if I could just showcase a few lessons for home-based learning, I would like to start off with this one here by Cikgu Muhammad Raimi bin Rahim and his class for STEM, in which he has provided his students with a hands-on activity. So using these hands-on activity, they will then be engaged in a project entitled Mr. Boni Project. So this is what it will look like for the students on Google Meet. Okay. Can we see the slide right now? Okay. Okay. Okay, so sorry for the, okay, let me just go back to the presentation. Okay, so this will be the Mr. Boni project. So I'm wondering if, okay, can we have the slides projected? Okay, so we are going to try and have the screen shared here.
You dah share entire.
Okay, so right now, as you can see on this, okay, I will try to project the screen. Okay, so Cikgu Muhammad Rahimi here will be asking his students to engage in a project in which he calls them the Mr. Boni project. So once they have assembled the bone structures, once they have assembled the bone structures, they have to ensure that the bone structures that they have assembled can be presented on Google Meet. So here we can see a combination of offline tasks as well as online tasks. So right now, I would like to try and have a look at a different, okay, so from there, from Cikgu Muhammad Raimi's lesson, as we can see, he has definitely tried to combine the use of offline task-based lesson as well as online task-based lesson, so that it definitely gives us an idea of hybrid learning or blended learning in his lesson there. So what he did, if let's say the students were not able to have their materials downloaded due to the lack of internet connection, or maybe if they do not have access to a printer, so he will definitely be going to their respective homes in order to try and send the materials personally to them. Okay, so from here we can see that the students are using their creativity because they definitely have to try and present on Google Meet as well. So I was also told by this teacher here, Cikgu Muhammad Rahimi, that the students will be building a song lyric using the names of the bone structures. So this particular sort of idea can definitely be something that we can try out in our lessons, maybe in our language learning lesson, in order to engage our students further. So if you are interested in Cikgu Muhammad Rahimi's lesson, I will definitely link it on a Padlet for you to try and explore further, because he has elaborated very lengthily about this particular piece of lesson on his Facebook. The next lesson that I would like to showcase would be the one here by Cikgu Tan Shi Min from SMK Syed Ibrahim, whereby she uses the voice note feature of WhatsApp. So by using a voice note feature, she was able to utilize real social media app, which is the WhatsApp, in order to provide explanation, instruction, and comments of the students' work in a very guided manner. So this sort of lesson would definitely be feasible for most of us teachers, especially when we think about our students who have very limited access to a device as well as internet data. Okay, the next lesson that I would like to showcase would be this one here by Cikgu Azahar from Sekolah Menengah Sains Sembrong, whereby he has conducted a WhatsApp quest by dividing his students into several Game of Thrones-ish houses. So he has this passion towards fantasy, historical, science fiction. So he uses his passion in teaching his students more advanced language learning. So how do they play the game? They will have to interact with Cikgu Azahar on WhatsApp. And then they have to try and answer research questions offline after that. So the teacher will somehow become the role of the game bots there. So definitely try out something like this because we can prepare our students better in essay writing, like narrative essays and descriptive essays, because such lessons like this provide students with a platform for them to practice, because the teacher himself is modeling the use of low frequency words like flabbergasted, unfathomable. So we can have the learners somehow emulate the language used by the teacher, and it is definitely a very commendable effort on the part of the teacher here when he models the use of more advanced language learning. So from there we can see that the combination or probably the use of offline task-based lessons, most of it just now, gives our students a designated time for them to engage in home-based learning, and they will definitely have a bit more control of the choices that they make in completing certain projects. However, if there were a few tips that I would like to provide for teachers when conducting such lessons, is that maybe you can ask your learners to manage their time well, and then they can you can set a limit in terms of the deadline that you want them to send their task, so that they have a bit of expectation in terms of what the teacher expects them to do. Going on to some online applications which I think are worth exploring, I would like to start off with some from the Delima website, whereby topping my list would definitely be the Google Meet application. This is due to the fact that Google Meet is probably the closest emulation that we can get to a real conventional classroom environment, whereby we have real face-to-face interaction. So students can use the video camera feature They can also use the microphone feature as well as the chat feature in order to interact in real time with the teacher. So the teacher can provide their students with real-time feedback. Considering the fact that our students are living in a very technology-saturated environment, whereby they have PCs, they have smartphones, they have gadgets, they have internet access, definitely the education that we provide for our students should somehow emulate their lived experiences. So we need to somehow interweave the use of traditional strategies as well as the latest technology in order to ensure that they get the full experience when learning. So if I could just showcase one lesson, I would like to try and have a look at this lesson here, which I have conducted a Google Meet video conference with students from Sekolah Tun Fatimah, whereby the teacher from Sekolah Tun Fatimah, Cikgu Nur Safika Binti Sapar, has invited me as a guest teacher to teach her students. So from here, we can see that the use of Google Meet does not confine me as a teacher to only my classroom. I can go beyond that. So from here, based on the poster that you see, I was able to have a Google Meet session with Sekolah Tun Fatimah students. So what I did on my part as the teacher was I was able to build a virtual classroom on my Delima website. And then I gave the class code for them a few days earlier so that I can somehow conduct a flipped classroom because they have access to my materials a few days earlier before the lesson. Previously, we do not have Google Meet linked to our Delima website, but now that we do have it, I definitely think that it is an indispensable tool. So this is what my classroom will look like. This is a virtual classroom. So there are also, on that particular day, teachers who have voluntarily decided to attend my lesson for the purpose of virtual observation. So probably for teachers who feel like you are less technology savvy, or maybe you need more ideas about how to conduct virtual lessons, maybe you can have yourself attend somebody else's virtual lessons. So from there, we can see that the use of Google Meet helps us in terms of developing our own professional development. And then we can see that some teachers have also used Google Meet as a form of teacher sharing or team teaching. So definitely check out the use of Google Meet to ensure that we can get the best experience for both ourselves or for our learners. I would also like to mention the use of Padlet, in which I have lengthily conducted a full tutorial on the use of Padlet on a webinar series in partnership with Cikgu Tube Johor. So if I could just mention a few features of Padlet which might be indispensable for English language teachers, I would definitely encourage teachers to try out saving your Padlets in the form of PDF, especially once you are done with your teaching of essay writings, for example. This is because it provides our learners with a sense of novelty when they get their writing published. Other than that, I would encourage teachers to try out the Canvas layout like what I have done here, whereby you can have a mind map of your presentation for certain topics, and it gives like a very appealing visual presentation of the topic that you want to teach. Last but not least, for Padlet, I would like to encourage teachers to use the voice recording for the purpose of teaching listening or speaking. So do check out the this particular tutorial webinar. It is also linked on JEDLR for English teachers to have access to. The next item I would like to mention would be gamification tools like Quizzes, Kahoot, and Quizlet, which I believe are very familiar among our teachers nowadays. So if I could just pick up on a few of the advantages of using Quizzes, for example, you can engage your students in virtual formative assessment because when we talk about having them do quizzes, it's not just constrained to just one time when they do the quiz. They can actually play multiple times, and in bettering their scores, that is definitely in tandem with the concept of formative assessment. So while they compete with their friends, they can actually see their performance, and the teacher themselves, you as a teacher, can also gauge the level of students' performance by looking at the leaderboard. And of course, having students stand on a virtual podium like this one here gives them a sense of accomplishment. And although it's virtual reward only, students can definitely feel very excited. For the use of quizzes, you can also have yourself conduct revision sessions by having the toughest questions which had the low accuracy during the live version of the game. You can actually display it and enlarge it like this one here. And then you can hide your answers, or you can choose to show your answers depending on how you would like to do it during your live sharing with your students. Like this one here, I conducted it on Google Meet and I enlarged the particular slide. And of course, again, do check out the tutorial given by Cikgu Yu Kok Hui from SMK Skudai, Johor Bahru, on the use of Kahoot. The next gamification tool that I would like to mention is Quizlet. The distinguishing feature of Quizlet compared to quizzes and Kahoot, it would be that Quizlet allows teachers to conduct differentiation by task. So for different levels of learners in the same class, you can actually try out different modes of Quizlet with your students. So if I could just demonstrate that right now, I'm going to go straight to a Quizlet website. So teachers, do ask your students to try out the virtual flashcard first, like this one here. Especially if your learners are reluctant readers, for example, if you're teaching a novel and the students do not like to read the novels, but you want to have them engage in memorizing certain keywords, do try the virtual flashcards. Once you're done with that one, you can have your learners try out the test mode of Quizlet, whereby they will be given written questions, matching questions, multiple choice questions, as well as true or false questions there. And then if I could just demonstrate one more, do try out for more advanced learners, you can ask them to try out the gravity mode. So the gravity mode, the concept is very simple. If you just get started here, you can ask your learners to try out the gravity mode, whereby there will be asteroids moving towards the Earth, and if let's say the students fail to answer before the asteroids move towards the Earth, then they will have to redo the quiz. Okay, next one, I would also like to mention very quickly right now the use of ISL Collective website for the purpose of generating a video lesson. So the difference between a conventional video and a video lesson is that, if I could just demonstrate that right now, teachers can have access to video lessons on this ISL Collective website because the difference is that video lessons provide our learners with videos like this one, in which there will be pop-up questions that the students can answer as they view the videos. So they don't have to answer after the viewing of the videos. So this is what a video lesson will look like. And there will be pop-up questions like this one here. So the students only have to click on the correct answer and they will have a score displayed on the screen. You are also going to be provided with video quiz questions which are printable. So for offline learning, this might be suitable as well. Okay, if I could just move on to another particular application that you might want to try, it would be Google Document. Please, for English teachers especially, engage your learners in the process writing, whereby you can have Google Documents as an editing tool. You can have the grammar check as well as the spell check, and the students would also have access to an online dictionary on Google Document. I would now like to move to the topic of having social media as a means of teaching online. So nowadays we can see that there are teachers out there who are using TikTok, Facebook live features, Instagram, Twitter to reach out to their students and provide them with a more authentic learning environment. Okay, so if I could just demonstrate that right now, I have used Twitter for the purpose of teaching students error correction. So what I did here was I inserted a screenshot of my students' essay, which I have edited on Google Document, and then I numbered them. So for each numbered error, what students can get is the error correction on one tweet in a particular thread. So for this one here, I gave a collocation dictionary for students to do extensive research. And then I also gave some synonyms of words which I feel is more suitable for them to use. And then also Google image, in which the students have used wrong use of hyphen, for example. So I gave them a Google image of compound adjectives all happening on Twitter. So you can choose how you want your students to engage in such learning platforms. Maybe you can have them mention you, or maybe they are the ones who can create a thread. Okay, so now addressing the issue of what might be suitable for us to prepare our SPM candidates for the purpose of examination during the 4 weeks holiday. If I could suggest one thing, maybe what we can do is we can have like more live sessions of teachers teaching, or maybe they can have tutorials of how to go about writing certain topics, for example. So like this one, I was approached by Sinar Harian to talk about essay writing tips for SPM candidates. So having such live sessions, we could definitely reach more students, especially SPM students. Like this one here, we had like around 6,000 views, maybe due to the fact that Sinar Harian has a very large audience. And this one was actually pre-recorded. So on that particular designated time that it was supposed to go live, I functioned as the person who answered the comment section. So probably that is something that we can do for our students. So maybe an initiative that we can take is we can somehow plan open lectures like this one here by College Matrikulasi Johor, whereby the lecturers there use green screen, digital ink, as well as they broadcasted their lessons on Facebook as well as YouTube. So that would be all for my part of the sharing session. So I hope that by now we can realize that home-based learning is something that we can customize to suit the learning preferences and the abilities of our learners. And this flexibility is what makes home-based learning something that might not be a passing fad. Instead, it may actually be our future. So good luck, teachers, with your future endeavors, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Emira. That was so informative, and I'm sure the plethora of apps as well as social media platform would benefit all the teachers, not just only in Johor, but beyond that, nationwide. So for our concluding statement, we would like to ask Tuan Haji Shahilon a question on how do you foresee the success of home-based learning, PDPR, as well as the LIMA in Johor and nationwide. Over to you, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Fadzleen. Thank you very much to JEDLR for their commitment in providing the teaching materials, which I see that the materials are very focused, can suit any types of needs, and this has been explained by Mr. Hanif clearly. There are so many materials that teacher can choose and use to suit the need of their student. And hopefully, we really hope that all this effort will be take advantage by our teachers. Our teachers will use this material to help their students. And thank you very much, Cikgu Emira. You have shown us that you really deserve that Adiwira recognition for PAK Group 1. You show that HBL can be done. HBL can be done by everybody, either online or offline. You have shown a lot of examples. And hopefully our teachers will really take the point what you have said and do HBL. Get some information of what are the students need, and then what are the materials to be used. Do they have the suitable equipment, internet line, and so on? When is the proper time for them to be online, for example? So ladies and gentlemen, all teachers throughout Johor and everywhere throughout Malaysia, hopefully we will work together as a team. We got plenty of resources in the internet. We have plenty of resources. There are a lot of materials to be used. It is a matter of selecting which one is suitable for our group of, for our students. Our students are different. Rural area, the needs are different. Urban area, they are different. So we have to select the proper materials that can really be used and meaningful to our group of students. Now it is up to our teachers. The materials are there, readily available, for free. If our teachers can improve their skill and knowledge, and hopefully we will be able to help our teachers in improving their skill and knowledge, so that HBL can be conducted more effectively and meaningful to our teachers. And I do believe our teachers in the state of Johor will do their best, and the success of HBL can be seen in the very near future. So hopefully we can work together. Our webinars, a series of webinars that we have planned for the purpose of trying to improve the skill and knowledge of our teachers, so that they can teach in the new norm. They can adapt themselves in the new norms and continue helping our children wherever they are. If we look at the human behavior, there are actually 4 types of people. The first group is the passenger group. I don't know, I don't want, couldn't care less. The second group is the keeper. I know, but I don't want. The third group is the learner. I don't know, but I want. And the best group, that hopefully we have plenty of this, is the star. I know and I want. And hopefully our teachers are in the category of either the learner or the star, so that we can help our students, and we work together to help our student, and hopefully our student will be able to go further in their life, and most important is that they will be able to care for themselves in their future. So let's work together. Let's face this COVID-19 together, and hopefully pray to Allah that this pandemic COVID-19 will be over soon, and we will be able to live normally. So I think, thank you very much again, Dr. Nur Fadzleen, Mr. Hanif, Nur Azahar, and Miss Emira Nabila, who has been our inspiration, and hopefully you inspired all of our teachers, especially in the state of Johor. We have shown a lot of good things, great things, splendid things, and hopefully our teachers will be able to improve their quality of work. And one more thing, the last thing, hopefully when our teachers are doing HBL, they will report their HBL using the Google form that we have distributed. And we are going to analyze the data from that reports to see what kind of help that we in JPN and PPD can give to these teachers. And don't hesitate to contact us if you have any problem. So thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you, sir, for a very insightful information and reminders to all the teachers, not just in Johor, but nationwide. I believe that we have to work as a team. It's a collaborative effort, and therefore everybody has to work together, not just the teachers, even the parents as well. We have to do this together as a team effort. Now, we have come to a Q&A session, and we have several questions being posed by our viewers for today. The first question, I think I would like to pose to Mr. Hanif as the manager for the Johor English Digital Learning Resource team. All right, so the question is, one of the teachers expressed that she would like to adapt some of the materials that she found on the website and would like to have some information on how she can do this. Could you elaborate on this, Mr. Hanif? Thank you.
Sorry, Cikgu Fadzleen, Dr. Fadzleen, I cannot hear the question.
All right,
Can you
sorry.
please repeat?
So one of the teachers posed a question that she would like to adapt the materials that she found on the Johor English Digital Learning Resource platform. And can you suggest to her how she is able to do that for her perusal? Over to you.
Yes. Thank you for that question. It is a good question asking on how to adapt the materials from the website. Well, the learning materials from the website, they are all editable in the form Word or in the form of Google Sheet or in the form of Google Form. You can just click on the materials and then you can just click on copy the materials and it will directly go to your Google Drive and you can edit and adapt the materials tailoring to the needs of your students. I guess it will be very easy to just click on the link to the materials and make a copy for yourself, and there you have it for your students. Thank you. I hope that would answer the question.
Wow. Yes, indeed. I think that's a very easy peasy way for the teachers to manage home-based learning effortlessly. Thank you so much for the answer and explanation. All right, another question I would like to pose to Miss Emira, because I'm sure that she has explored a lot of apps and social media platform. And the question is, as a beginner, and this teacher would like to know how she can explore the apps in using for her to use for home-based learning. So as this is not tech savvy, perhaps you can share some apps for her to begin with. So Emira,
so for teachers who are not, so can I have the question repeated? So basically you're asking for teachers who are not technology savvy, what are the apps that they can try?
Yes.
Okay, probably if I could just suggest that, because I would consider myself as less technology savvy as well compared to other teachers out there who are already using all these green screen filters and so on in their lessons. So maybe for teachers who are beginners, like I suggested that just now in my sharing, maybe you can try out features like maybe try out Google Meet as a way of, learning how other teachers conduct their virtual lessons. That might be one. Or maybe try out watching some webinars about the use of, I think Padlet is a good place to start because it is a very simple tool for you to try out with your students. You don't need to have such technological skills in order to navigate your way through Padlet. So do check out the webinars that other teachers have conducted on the use of applications, and that is how we can educate ourselves. And of course, we can just like tell ourselves that, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So just start somewhere, explore one type of application, and then of course, you're going to have that motivation to try out something more advanced.
Thank you so much, Cikgu Emira. That is a very wise
So that would
saying.
be, yes.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. I think
you.
that Cikgu Hanif as well as Cikgu Emira has shared with us very resourceful information as well as resources for teachers to start home-based learning. We are also honored for Tuan Haji Shahilon for gracing our webinar, the first one, and hoping that you can attend for our next webinar soon, hopefully, inshallah. All right, so that's the end of our webinar for today. And I would like to, before we end, I would like to share this QR code for SPL KPM. All right, so for our viewers for today, please scan the QR code for SPL KM, and this will be recorded. And thank you so much for attending our webinar for today. We are so honored to have our special guest. Thank you, Haji Shahilon, and thank you to our panel of speakers, Cikgu Hanif, as well as Cikgu Emira, for gracing our first ever webinar for the Johor English Digital Learning Resources. And of course, we would like to thank all our viewers coming from all over Malaysia. We welcome you to our webinar, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel because more webinar will coming up soon. So that's all. Thank you so much for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.